Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the program. You're watching Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. My name is Anthony Sebale, your host. This is Financial Markets, and on this show, we have specified our direction, and that is going to be driving business towards the capital markets of Uganda. The capital markets of Uganda have been growing and growing steadily over the years, and we are saying you can be part of this growth if you get the right information, you deal with the right people, and get, of course, the right information. Now, in the last few months, we've been covering a couple of topics, including stocks, bonds. We've covered cryptocurrency, and many more, of course, segments have been also towards discussing what the capital markets are and where we are at in Uganda. However, from the Capital Markets Authority point of view, which is the regulator in this space, regulation, market supervision is a very, very key part of the capital markets. As without this, we may have a lot of chaos, Ponzi schemes, and many, many more dubious ways of actually swindling people's money on the market. Tonight, we have Mr. Denis Kizito, who is the Director, Market Supervision for the Capital Markets Authority of Uganda. Mr. Kizito, you're most welcome to the show.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting me.
You're welcome. I've been looking forward to actually meeting you on the show, and many people have actually been waiting for someone like you, especially coming from the Market Supervision Department, because when we talk about Capital Markets Authority, your role basically is to regulate and make sure that the market is also protected. You know, people in the market are protected. The market is actually doing what it's supposed to do. Tell us about your role as the market supervisor or the director market supervision at CMA.
Okay, that's an interesting question, and thank you again for hosting me. The role of market supervision, I would like to talk to it in terms of a department. What does the market supervision department do at Uganda's Capital Markets Authority? What we do can be summarized in terms of we do license market intermediaries. We are the department that interfaces with whoever wants to apply for a license to play some role within Uganda's capital markets. So we do receive those applications, we do review them against the legal framework that we have for the particular license application categories. And then after that, we do recommend approval or rejection of those applications. Now, that is at what we call the door or the gate of Uganda's capital markets. That's what we do there. Yeah. But once we've licensed these persons, they come into the market and they are ready to provide services to the general public. We don't stop at overseeing their license application process, but the department goes ahead now to oversee their conduct. How do they interface with the investors? Are they servicing the investors well? Are there any conflict of interests? Are there any insider dealing cases? Are they involved in some kind of malpractices and market abuses? So in summary, the role of Market Supervision Department is to license and monitor the conduct of licensed persons in Uganda's capital markets.
Amazing. Now, talking about, before we get into our discussion today about ensuring stability and, of course, integrity in the market, what are some of the key challenges that you look at currently in your own perspective concerning the capital markets in Uganda? Because when you look at the economic space in Uganda, Bank of Uganda reports show that the economy is quite resilient. However, things like the shilling's depreciation, interest rates, variability, and so on, have still bombarded the market. But in the face of the capital markets and from the market supervision perspective, what are some of the challenges you've spotted?
Okay, thank you again for that question. You see, in market supervision, there is a school of thought that an educated investor is a protected investor. And that kicks in the debate about awareness. Awareness of financial markets has been quite a critical key growth factor for financial markets or capital markets, if I may call them, for countries within sub-Saharan Africa. So in countries or those jurisdictions where you see there are low levels of awareness, that's where you see many Ponzi schemes and investment frauds taking place. So I would say that one of the key challenge that we are facing is awareness, low levels of awareness, because if even in the investment world, they will tell you that if you don't understand something, please don't put your money there. So we need to do a lot of awareness. I think you're aware that the authority has embarked on a massive awareness campaign to equip Ugandans with knowledge about financial markets, how they operate, and also how to spot investment scams for that matter. The second challenge, I would say, away from the markets and stability, is a political will. The political will is key in development of financial markets.
Because what do you mean political?
Political will is how positive the political arm of the economy is to welcoming transformative policies that are put in place to transform the capital markets. Of recent, it used to be a big problem, but previously, it used to be a big problem. But of recent, we've seen positivity coming from the political wing as far as transforming Uganda's capital markets are concerned.
That's amazing. You've had how many amendments of the Capital Markets Act?
We've had one so far. One, yeah.
Okay.
But I think the next one is also in the offing, maybe to come through. But usually with political will is really, it is measured by the willingness and the ability of the political arm of the economy to push for transformative policies that are going to help bring the markets closer to the people and also with an overriding objective of causing socio-economic transformation through the use of financial markets.
Amazing.
The next key challenge I would want to talk about is unemployment, because you see capital markets, the foundations of capital markets are made up of two critical areas, and those are the deficit financing units and also the surplus financing units. The deficit financing units are units, I would like simply put, are the manufacturing entities of any economy. They are deficit financing because always they need money to do their operations. And now the surplus, on the other side, the surplus spending units are the people. These are the people who work and they earn and they save some money. And they are always looking for where to put this money so that it can earn a return. So the interplay between these two sides cause the operations of the capital markets to blossom. So the surplus spending unit is always in cases where there are low levels of employment. You find that or where you have high levels of unemployment, you find that the surplus spending unit doesn't have the money because they are not employed, they are not earning. So, and you find the deficit side having no funding because the surplus spending unit doesn't have money to provide to the deficit financing unit. So really unemployment is a factor to watch out for, and you've seen in countries where there are low levels of unemployment how their financial markets have transformed and they have blossomed, the likes of the United States of America. And lastly, I would like to speak to the issue of investment scams. Like I said earlier, where you have low levels of awareness are synonymous with investment scams. If you try to do a quick research or survey, you will see that where there are low levels of awareness, that's where you find high levels of investment scams.
Amazing. We're going to come back to that, investment scams. But let's discuss the role of the authority in the face of all these challenges. First and foremost, you regulate brokers, dealers, and investment advisors, who are the key players in the market. However, with the regulation also comes the burden to actually bear with the rules and regulations in the market. Now you have a market space which is very small, very few investors, and then when you bring heavy regulation, so to say, and to stifling, where is the role of the Capital Markets Authority in the face of a small market like Uganda's market, but then also in the face of scammers, Ponzi schemes that are also coming to the market to infiltrate the market and actually scam people of their money? How do you balance that?
Oh, thank you. I will speak on behalf of my colleagues, the legal people at the authority. I hope I will do a good representation here. As you hear the term regulation, regulation is knowing what is adequate for the market in terms of the rules and the regulations they are all. And you are right to say that it's always good to ask yourself what's enough at a particular moment, and also to determine what's enough by also looking at the other side of how developed the market is. Yeah. Usually, the thinking has been that for markets which are still young in their development stages, it's better you give enough leg room so that people can be more innovative and they can be innovative to drive the development of the market. And that has been our approach. The market is still young. There's no need for too much regulation. And that said, that's why the authority has come up with what we call a regulatory sandbox. The sandbox is going to help whoever has an innovative idea to come and be put under a controlled environment so that the authority can learn about this idea and see how to nurture or to grow this idea and transform it into a live market product. Yeah, so my quick response and in summary, my response to this is that we measure and we know and we take cognizance of the market development level vis-a-vis the regulations that we should introduce at a particular level of the market as it develops. But also we need to also remember that the authority has gone an extra mile of introducing waiver provisions, waivers, or call them exemptions, within the regulatory framework. So that is a symbol or a demonstration of how the authority has been so supportive of and cognizant of the stage of development of the market and how to facilitate market development.
Wow. In the light of the sandbox, that was a very interesting idea, because it feels like a suggestion box which we used to have in high school, and all the students would put their ideas in there, even the letters that are not as friendly, they would be. That's when you could get a chance to actually put that, and that's, I think, a very, very good initiative. Talking about investor protection, Ugandans have been heartbroken, so to say, by so many Ponzi schemes and other scammers on the market. Most recent one is Capital Chicken. We can talk about it because now it's already an open story. Everyone knows about it. How do you ensure that such Ponzi schemes, such scammers do not come on the market and actually downgrade the hearts of investors, which are already timid, to invest, to kind of maneuver the market, which is still at a very, very young stage, so to say. How do you ensure that we are protected 100% from scammers and Ponzi schemes in the country?
Okay, thank you. First of all, let me clear the air about 100% protection. Like I said before, a protected investor is an educated investor. Or an educated investor is a protected investor. So we can't guarantee 100% protection, but we can guarantee adequate protection. Okay. And we've done quite a number of initiatives to ensure that the market is protected. I will just mention a few of them. Market surveillance, we do survey the market with an objective of watching out for any unlicensed persons, a possibility of any unlicensed persons out there in the public trying to offer investment advice to Ugandans. And this process has really generated quite interesting findings, which we've been able to act upon before damage is done on Ugandans. In addition, of course, I've talked about the awareness campaigns that we are doing in terms of raising the awareness of the public about the Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes and many other forms of investment frauds or investment scams that come up.
Yeah. Well, in light of the actions you've taken against these market surveillance awareness campaigns, how come we still probably have people, especially online, who do not actually have licenses, for example, and are within the market, and they try to hoodwink Ugandans, into the so-called pyramid schemes and so on and so forth. Because honestly, we are living in an era where it is so difficult to detect these things at the mushrooming stage, right? So have you put in place online measures to ensure that scammers and all these Ponzi schemes are actually dealt with at the start? Even when these things are starting, people even tell you, don't tell anyone about it. So it is even hard for you to get maybe a call at your desk that, hey, there's someone actually doing this, until it is at a level where it's no longer controllable. So how are you making sure you get down to the starting stages of this?
Thank you. Let me respond to that by first making a statement. The internet brings together many sorts of people with different motives and objectives. That said, there are many kind of offerings on the internet which cut across the entire financial services industry. But and you must be sure that there are very many players in terms of regulation of the financial services industry. We have the Bank of Uganda taking care of the banks. We have the Insurance Regulatory Authority taking care of the insurance sector players. We have UBRA taking care of the pension sector players, and capital markets taking care of the capital markets industry. So what happens in there is that it's not only in capital markets where we have Ponzi or pyramid schemes. Frauds happen anywhere. Banks have also been susceptible to this kind of frauds. So what happens is that each one of us dive in on the web to pick out what belongs to us. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to speak to the fact that when a Ponzi scheme or pyramid scheme comes up, we need to dissect it and understand what structure is it taking. The moment we identify that this structure belongs to capital markets because it fits the definition of securities, that's when capital markets come in. If it doesn't, then capital markets has to...
You let it go.
No, it has. We have to notify because we have a forum. We call it the financial sector stability forum. In that forum, we have all the financial sector regulators coming into one room, and they discuss matters pertaining to what is happening within the financial services sector. So in that arrangement, if we identify something as we survey the market, and we identify something which does not belong to us, which does not fit the definition of securities, all we do is to notify who we think should be responsible for that. So I thought I needed to make that clear because we've really had all manners of calls, all manners of complaints, and some of them don't fit the definition of securities. But for those that fit the definition of securities, we've been able to take them on and reduce the damage, and in certain cases avoid the damage on behalf of the public. So your question was, what have we put in place to ensure that we have online visage of what is happening? Currently, the surveillance processes that we undertake are, I would say, remote. They are not live. But we are not resting. We've started on a project to automate our processes to ensure that we have live coverage and live feed into what is happening, both at the ends of those people we license and also the market on sites like social media, so that we can get real on-time data to be able to discern whether there are malpractices or abuses, so that we can intervene.
Amazing. We're going to go for a very quick break, Mr. Kizito. And when we return, ladies and gentlemen, we want to look into how the Capital Markets Authority is promoting the market. We have the market supervisor here, and they're in charge of licensing bodies such as stockbrokers, dealers within the market, to be able to foster the growth into the different parts of the country. Because without these bodies, we might not have the capital markets actually gospel spread all over the country. So how do we ensure we promote the growth, but also be able to balance innovation and regulation, and making sure that our markets are as open as possible to new investors? My name is Anthony. I'm with Mr. Denis Kizito from the Capital Markets Authority, and we are taking a quick break. We'll return shortly. Don't touch your dial.